Are we doing it? What's going on?
You're listening to the Jay Bird Watching Podcast, the official podcast of jaysjournal.com and fansite.com. We are the official ballroom chat for everything Toronto Blue Jays baseball, from game highlights to rumors and all the stuff in between. Here's your host, Craig Borden, with co-host Jason Lyons and Liz McGuire. Now let's talk some Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Hello and good evening, everybody, and welcome to this very special edition of the Jay Bird Watching Podcast, as we have all sorts of fun things to be chit-chatting about. This is a quick 15-minute or so hit, or if you all just flood the comment sections, I guess we'll see where it goes. But on that avenue, we are here with our friend Darryl Silverstein. Liz is here with me as usual. Jason is out of the office tonight, so just saying. So Liz, first things quick, how you doing?
I'm really good. That's it. I played a lot of pinball this weekend, and I played Super Mario Brothers, the original, with my niece and nephew, who are really bad at it, but very committed to getting better.
There you go. As long as they're committed to getting better, because that's the name of the game. So Darryl, our buddy from Jay Birdie, how the heck are you, bud?
I'm doing great. Everything that passes closer to Christmas, a day closer to spring training, so I'm good.
I can actually go to the counter. It's 71 days.
There you go.
It's on the board.
There you go.
71 days till pitchers and catchers report, and we're jumping into, like I said, our 500th episode is on Thursday, December 4th. I just cannot say enough good things about how much fun we've been having getting ready for it. All sorts of great feedback. We get a nice little announcement here we're going to have. But Liz, how forward are you looking to seeing Mr. Travis Snider here in the next couple of days?
I'm really pumped. Travis has always been very good to us. He's such an insightful guest in terms of the psychological point of game, but also just what it felt like to be, a young phenom. So I love talking to the lunchbox.
Yeah, and I believe you were also the one that was asking him about the hot dog commercials or whatever it was at one point too. What was the commercial he was on for a while there in Toronto?
No, it wasn't. Remember. It was man, I can't remember. I think it was No, he wasn't.
It was fitting.
He wasn't on a commercial. He did a story about like how he liked his meat. Like he did like a news, it was like a news article, and yeah. So that's
King of Meats, hence the lunchbox hero. I would be my piece to that whole point. Darryl, seeing you're with us tonight, and you're not going to be with us. At least you'll be there always as spirit, because you're one of our regulars, obviously. But is there anything that comes to mind about what you think of Travis Snider as a Toronto Blue Jay, or anything you would like to ask him as a pass the question?
Liz touched on it. For me, coming up as a phenom is one thing, but it's just the responsibility of living up to that expectation. And he has talked about it, I'm sure, ad nauseum about what he does now currently, but the weight on what he had to deliver and what he had to do. And sometimes you get people like him or Alex Rios, who was not even a generation before him, and the Vernon Wells. And he played with people that were certainly just like him, but that's got to be really tough. And then I know he settled into Pittsburgh and, was that a change? But sometimes when you come all the way through the system, like legit from draft through the minors and up, as diehards, we have this expectation that you're just going to light it up, which he did. Yeah. But, I always thought, okay, were they ever going to move him to a different position? Were they ever going to think about moving to first base? Like I would be curious, like what were the background conversations at some spring trainings like? Because, there's always three outfielders and you want them to do well. But at that time, during his era, was it ever a conversation about moving him to another position? That's what I was always curious about.
That's a good question. I wouldn't have thought of that one, because he is a very athletic guy, but I think he was an outfielder most of his college career or high school career, and just kind of moved into that whole thing. But that's a good one. I'm going to write that one down.
Sometimes when you're playing that, like you haven't taken a rep for a ground ball in years, do you really want to take it at the major league level? I don't know.
Terrifying, man.
Yeah.
Well, and you always hear like Alan Roden was a pitcher when I saw him for the first time in Bluefield, West Virginia for the Bluefield Blue Jays. So it was like, okay, great. How do these guys just go from one place to the other? You could always see somebody like, okay, great. Addison Barger has an incredible arm. Maybe he becomes a pitcher later. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't Jose Bautista dabble with that idea of coming back as a reliever at the end of his career.
Well, look at Marcus Stroman. He was a shortstop coming up and through the systems, and then they moved him into a pitcher, I think at Duke. But up until then, he was a two-way player. And it's funny. I was DMing one of the guys that I used to coach with, and we were talking about how now you're isolated to either a PO or a multi-purpose player at such a young age. But when we played, you could be a pitcher or an outfielder or a catcher or a third baseman, but pitcher was set. And now, whether it's good for baseball or bad for baseball, you're just locked in. So,
yeah,
I don't know. I don't necessarily think he would be a pitcher, Travis Snider, but certainly another position.
That also explains why Stroman could rake. He's one of our only pitchers who ever hit a home run.
I don't know. Ricky Romero.
I don't know if you knew that. He played short. That's why he feel the ball so well.
Yeah.
And
he won a Gold Glove.
He did win a Gold Glove, and then they used to put him on base in the extra innings when they needed a fast guy to run the bases. They would put him in there.
Yeah,
because it was not foreign to him.
I was rooting for him, but he's complicated. He seems like a complicated guy to have in your locker room. But he was, I mean, his whole story in 2015 of coming back with an ACL injury, rehabbing it, finishing up. Yeah, right on. Finishing up at Duke and then coming back for postseason was awesome.
It was almost Vince Carter-esque when he went to North Carolina and he did that. But I was at that game and I was like, oh man, how's he going to look? And I remember the game 1 nod. I was thinking, oh boy, here we go.
Exactly.
Happens. I also still like the Aaron Sanchez 41, Stroman 6, the 4-1-6 combo.
I know it did slap, and they're falling out. I heard a rumor. So when I had to do interviews at the Sky Dome like last summer, I was like, what? The rumor I asked one of the Jays field reporters was what happened between Stroman and Sanchez, and what I was told was it was something with Stroman's brand. It was regarding Stroman's brand. The height doesn't measure heart brand.
Yeah. We wore a lot of that in my family back then.
It was cute. Yeah.
Yep.
HGMH. Yeah.
Yeah, it worked. Great mantra to live by. Period. Yeah. So, especially being a 5'9" male trying to play baseball.
Yeah, man. But is he still around? Is he in the Mets system? He's in the Yankees.
No, the Yankees released him. Nobody picked him up.
Oh, well, he had a run. Like he wasn't. I don't think any of those pitchers worked out the way we wanted. Like certainly Sanchez did not. Stroman had a career, but he was never an ace. But I think he played. But he played for 10 years.
Yeah, he probably gets his pension. He's happy.
Yeah.
Good deal. But it's always interesting to hear that piece, and I don't know who I'm hearing back through the microphone again, but I don't know if Darryl, if it's your computer, I'm hearing your.
No, I don't know.
No, you're in ghosts, man. Those are your ghosts.
Yeah.
Get it. Okay.
It's just
are in my head. Shocking.
Yeah.
See, it's a good thing we got Travis coming in. At least now I can talk to somebody about me, myself, and I, and all these wonderful psychiatry things that happened with my baseball career and all that. So, but that kids thing is very, very important to him too. So that whole point where you guys were talking about the position player moving around thing, that is a big thing with Travis. Not specializing too early, making sure that you have fun playing baseball. It's that simple. So, on that note, so that's the excitement that we are going to be talking about this Thursday, December 4th, 7 p.m. Eastern with our friend Travis Snider. And like I said, maybe a mystery guest. He's being very, very vague on that. And I think he's doing that to me on purpose. So we'll see where that goes. But on that note, we have some other amazing news, and we're so glad that there's so many of you in here on that whole point. I don't know if you've noticed the new logo kind of like over my left shoulder here up on the top part of the screens, but Mr. Darryl Silverstein's wonderful brand is officially part of the Jay Birdie Fund and Jay Bird Watching Fund that we get to have. So, Darryl, off that.
Yeah, we're very excited to be working with Jay Bird Watching and everybody on your team. And this is going to be a great partnership between two great young, I would say, the Toronto-based teams. And it's going to be really exciting for everybody that's listening and everybody that follows both brands.
Yep. And to that point, I'd be doing my interviewing skills here a disservice if we didn't at least talk to you about how you got going with this wonderful brand that you have with the Jay Birdie baseball company. Oh,
sure. For me,
and by the way, perfect brand name too, as far as the Canada's baseball brand. Perfect. Spot on.
Absolutely. Well, in this market, and if you're listening to this, it doesn't matter where you are, but especially in Canada, we were certainly overdue for our own brand and something that not just looked at modern fashion, but was nostalgic. And I'm all about baseball nostalgia and looking back. And no matter what you do, if you get anything like a t-shirt with us, you're going to see the number 38 plastered, because that for us is indicative of 1838, when Canada created the sport of baseball, not in 1839 when Cooperstown and Abner Doubleday, amongst others, said that they created baseball in Cooperstown in 1839. So we're paying homage to pro sports, but we are a baseball cap company. We are a clothing company. We're coming with a brand new collection in 2026, and we're just getting started, and we are having a lot of fun. It started in 2022, turned on the lights in February 2023, and as we enter 2026, we're now looking to do these great partnerships with Jaybird Watching, amongst other organizations.
Good deal. So on that note, I love the hat you're wearing, but I feel like you got to have a bunch of things at your hand here that are full on like Black Friday deals, swag, fun to show off a little bit.
Yes.
Not just a model and a pretty face.
Absolutely. But I do want to, just before I talk about that, I noticed that I have to correct myself. I said 1938. I meant 1838, not a 1938. But the hat, this is our first look and our first attempt, and as we're fully into it with our Christmas collection, as we want to do more. It's our pine scented hat, because you got to ride the pine if you're going to sometimes play the sport of baseball, and that's what it is. Our bird traded in the baseball bat for a Christmas tree, and we are super pleased and really happy about the response we've had so far. And there's just been an overwhelming demand, so we're really happy that we put it out. It's our snapback. There's the logo, and we are super happy that we did this for as we enter 2026 and our new collection.
Yeah, I feel like Clark Griswold could be wearing that in a Christmas.
Really anybody can. I heard that in the North Pole, Santa sometimes likes to do that in the North Pole and wear it. But we've probably heard that he's trading in the old Santa hat for the pine scented hat, which is totally fine with us.
Perfect.
Mrs. Claus likes it too.
I did hear that rumor.
Yeah, it's a real thing. But we've also trademarked Canada's baseball brand, but for Christmas time, we are North Pole's baseball brand.
I love it. Pung's perfect.
Yeah.
Spot on. I see why this relationship's going to work perfectly.
Liz said it's Slate, so I like that.
There you go.
Yeah.
No, as a person that rode too much pine in their baseball career, I totally get you on that one. Perfect. So, Liz, you got any questions on the Jay Birdie thing before we have a little bit of fun here in our quick episode tonight?
I do. Darryl, do you want to take us through some of the design features of the hat?
Sure. Like overall, it is your standard snapback hat, but I love the coloring of it. White. I love the eyelets are green. This is as much as you can get into a standard baseball cap, but we're fully customized. We've got our labels on the inside, Canada's baseball brand on the inside, red, green, and white, 3D emblem, and a really good solid snapback. Liz just got one, so she's gonna see what that's gonna look like. But it's a beautiful material. It's not anything flimsy, and I love the feedback that we get on all of our baseball caps. It's completely consistent amongst the board that it is just a great hat to wear. It comes with a flat bill. You want to curve it, great. You want to keep it flat. That's fine by us. But I did want to add one thing to this. I think what we're going to have to do is create a nostalgic Toronto-based baseball cap. And Liz and Craig and Jason are going to have to see it before we announce it. But I think we're going to have to name it maybe Jaybird Watching. I think that's going to have to happen in the new year, because your fans are definitely wanting something. I think our fans are. It's going to match everything. The nostalgic piece of Toronto baseball, Jaybird Watching, and Jay Birdie. And I think it's a really great thing that we should be doing in the new year.
I love it. That's a great idea. And I think it spurs right into the nice little piece I was going to put on a summary on this whole thing. Our brand here, Jaybird Watching, has been always about getting people together to talk more and more about Blue Jays baseball. hence the reason we do this show live every week. There's a reason we love you in the comments. And yes, Mike B, I see you in there. Thanks for the feedback, because it does seem like I'm not hearing myself anymore, but maybe they just calm down. But we wanted to make sure we had a great experience for everybody to just come here and hang out, talk baseball, whatever it might be, good and bad. I used to use the description of this show as when things are going well, you hear everybody cheering in the background here, or if things are going bad, you literally could hear the, peanuts hitting the TV in the bar, and it would just be how it was. Things would go that way. So having you on the ship here with us, Darryl, it's another wonderful brand that is in the same mantra about just having fun with baseball in our, wonderful group here. And I can't say enough good things of being able to, collaborate here and have some fun with our, wonderful fans.
And I want this to make the social media cuts. But when you talk about bringing everybody together and having a great place to talk about baseball, in your case, Blue Jays baseball, that was the whole point of Jay Birdie. It's a place for Canadian baseball fans to have something to wear to the Sandlot, to the yard, watching their kids, going to a Jays game, going to a Vancouver Canadians game, going to watch baseball in the Okotoks, wherever you are, that you can have something, a brand that you can be in love with and enjoy that represents Canadian baseball. So it's very, very similar. And I love the synergies between both brands.
Perfect. So I want to, like I said, have a little fun, and I'm changing my picture that I was thinking about doing this here because this conversation has went one way. I'm trying to find some certain pictures of Chris Bassett arriving to the ballpark. But I wanted to have some fun with every week with just the fun that is Major League Baseball, goofing around, having some fun with a wonderful Sandlot like level brand that you mentioned. And unfortunately, finding pictures of baseball players showing up to the ballpark in swag and everything is apparently a lot harder than I recall. Go on, Liz. You got it.
You're just Googling the wrong stuff. Carry on. Baseball players drip is what you Google.
Okay, there it is. Baseball drip. Because I found plenty of drip in the picture I was going to share. But like
our goal, we've got many goals in 2026. One of them is to have one of the ball players show up in one of our caps. One of our shirts would be great, but one of our caps, that's a goal we've got.
Yeah. I think we'll push hard enough. We can do it.
Absolutely.
There you go. I'm gonna have to go back to my original plan here because it is not working. But anyways, the first official who wore it better or who wore it best, or just talk about this person's drip bit from our friends right here at Jay Birdie. And we're gonna go cut into the share screen here as I bring up this ridiculous picture from many years ago that was a fun time with just fandom in general. Why is it not coming up? There it is. This gentleman is Ryan Fitzpatrick, former Bills quarterback, who decided to do the interview post-game in one of the wide receivers drip. And I can't say enough good things of how he just basically has this Conor McGregor vibe to it. Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but it's listening, awesome.
He's wearing a black track style jacket, open, the hair on his chest glistening, only out glistened by the double chains and sunglasses. Oh, and his wrist accessory also in gold.
There it is. Darryl, would you imagine your quarterback, or in our situation here, George Springer, just showing up for a post-game interview all just decked out?
Doesn't matter what it looks like. Rocking a beard like that, it's a 10 out of 10.
Respect. Beard gang represent. Way to go.
Absolutely.
And in true Buffalo Bills fashion, in every interview, it seems like any time Ryan Fitzpatrick magically has his shirt somehow revealing everything. It's like a Red Hot Chili Peppers piece. So good stuff. That was the first piece of this whole thing that, like I said, just wanted to goof around, play around with it, have a sample of what we could do and have some fun with our, obviously talking clothing and whatnot with our wonderful friend here, Darryl. And we're going to continue doing that. So if you guys got some good pictures of, like I said, I was hunting for the picture.
I have many.
Yeah, there it is.
Topps does a card called Game Day Drip. They have a whole series. Yes. And so like in every pack, it's like who shows up in what outfit. So it's a lovely baseball collectible of who's in what drip.
Love it.
Good deal. Because wasn't it Chris Bassett that basically showed up with a flamethrower for Game 6? And
yep, that was him.
Like Rambo gear.
Yeah, he did.
That was the picture I was looking for, but apparently it wasn't really Rambo, so I couldn't find it. So on that note, I got one last little thing here, and I know I ran over the 15 minutes I promised everybody, but our friend Travis Snider has been a great partner to this show. He has done some wonderful things to make sure we get some great guests and all these things over the years. And not to mention, is he going to be doing that? He's going to be celebrating our 500th episode with us this Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific time. So we are starting this wonderful segment in his honor for his wonderful company, 3A Athletics. And it is the youth sports clip of the week. So in the midst of all the fun, like I said, we're trying to have some fun here in the off season and make sure we, just have some good baseball talks and whatnot. So I don't know if everybody's seen this specific 3-year-old, but wow, can this kid rake?
Okay, that's an absolute seed.
Watch when they slow this down. This kid is spot on, weight transfer, everything, and he's just destroying baseballs. I couldn't imagine a 3-year-old that I've
Keep
known.
the name, write it down, send yourself an email to get it in 15 years and see where it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
On TikTok, Instagram at Watch Way Play.
It
It reminds me of what Back to the Future 2 when it starts and the UPS guy comes. You got to send yourself a note for the future.
Yeah. So apparently one of the other clips that they had on this kid was a reaction video from Alex Rodriguez. Apparently somebody had been telling him, hey, look, you got to check this kid out. He's incredible. And in the midst of the incredible, like I said, he was like, oh my God, how's he staying back like that? And he's just, it's a motion that this kid's going to be like the next Bryce Harper or something at this rate. He's just destroying baseballs at the age of 3. And it's very cool stuff. I just thought it was very fun to be able to, and I like to end in these shows on a blooper or something fun. We're going to have this little bit here to talk T-ball or whatever it might be with some of the youth sports fun. And just see where it goes. So on that note, Celebrate Time is going to be on Thursday. But Darryl,
yes,
I know you've already had plenty of shameless self-promoting this, but you are more than welcome to promote anything you would want. Microphone is yours.
What I'm asking is when any of our your friends from Jaybird Watching DM us at the letter J Birdie BIRDY Baseball Co on Instagram, we're going to send you a special Jaybird Watching discount code right now that we're also going to promote. So that's letter J BIRDY Baseball Co on Instagram. DM us. We'll send you a special promo code. That promo code will also be available throughout the spring and the summer for Jaybird Watching fans amongst everywhere on all platforms that you guys are on. And we'll get that going right now. So send us a DM, follow us. We want to make sure that you're following all platforms, both platforms, not just for us. We're everywhere. You're everywhere. And we're able to, we'll be able to give you a special discount, especially before the Christmas and holiday season. We'll get you a little discount to help you out.
Perfect. And that will also be available on the jaybirdwatching.com's bit under our sponsors, which will be the one wonderful place for to be able to get a nice quick link to our buddy here, Darryl at jbirdie. So good stuff. Yeah. So on that note, Liz, good?
No, man, that's it. We did it. Let's go.
Amazing.
Game on. So on that note, Blue Jays fans, thank you very much for tuning in for this quick special announcement, episode 499B, because we didn't want to completely move to 500 yet. So make sure you tune in Thursday. It's a weird time for us, 7 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to be live with Travis Snider and potentially some other fun Blue Jays guests. So tune in, and we'll talk to you all soon. Cheers.
Party on.
Awesome.
Party on.
Thank you for listening to the Jaybird Watching Podcast. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, at BirdwatchingGC, and our YouTube channel. If you want to support the show and get extra content, please consider joining to our Patreon at patreon.com/birdwatchinggc. Go Jays, go.
Woo!